Okay, we're back in our Let's Play world for episode 10 of Empyrion Alpha 12.3. We left off last time. I promised you we'd go to space. I lied to you. This time we are going to, because I lost that video of me using the multi-tool to repair the little dart here and do some upgrades to it and the multi-tool. We are going to take this episode real quick to cover that very subject and fix up the little hover vessel here. So the first thing we want to do is, when you get in the seat, you have no tools. So when you're out and about, you can't scan the area with it. Now, why you would use this vessel is important because, one, it stays on the ground the entire time. So if you need food and stuff, this is a good way to go foraging for food. And it's really efficient on fuel. So let's find out what it's going to take to make a detector for this thing. So let's F2 and go in our tech trees to see if we need to unlock it for, go to the hover vessel tab. And we're going to look for the detector in here and to see if it is in fact different than it is for, it is different. See, there it is. So we need to spend 5 of our lock points, but we got 253, so it's well worth it. But while we're here, I'm going to also cover some containers and container extensions so you guys have a better understanding of that. We're also going to keep up with our CPU to make sure we don't need to upgrade the CPU. We don't want to go over in points. So there's 3 different types of container controllers. There is a standard container controller. There's one for ore and wood, and there's one for ammo. So if I wanted to put a gun on this thing, which you could, we're not, but you could. If you wanted to put a gun on this, you would have to, in order to defeat an ammo, you have to put an ammo controller in it. And there's other things you can pick up for this, like there's a tool turret you can put on this. I'm not seeing it in here. I know you can loot them. I never make them. You always end up finding them and looting them. And you could put a tool turret on this. You could put minigun turrets on this. But like say the tool turret you could use to mine ore. So you don't have to get off the vessel. You just jump in and use it. And for that, you would have to have the other type of ore and wood. There's also another device you can put on the front of this, which allows you to cut down trees. So you can just drive around. Oh, there's your tool turrets right there. You could just drive around, run into a tree, and it'll cut the tree down and automatically pick the wood up. Oh, a harvester module right there. And it'll automatically put the wood right into the container controller. So if you wanted to make this thing a harvest vessel, you could absolutely take this thing off the front, make this harvest module, attach it to the front of this, and then just drive up to a tree and cut the tree down. And instead of having this thing here, you could put the ore and wood container in it. And you're not limited to just ore and wood. You can open it and put anything you want in it. But if you want to cut down trees, you have to have the ore and wood. Or if you want to mine ore. All right, so we're just going to put a regular container controller on it. You know what? Let's go ahead and put the ore and wood thing on it. So first, because this is in the tech tree, do cargo boxes, the ore and wood. Let's hope we have enough to make the harvest module. I don't know what we need for the harvest module. We'll find out though. But now you see we've got the ore and wood, but we also need these container extensions because I think these are just 100. The volume is 11 and the volume of these are 11. So yeah. So we also need to unlock this one so we can get to this one. So let's go find out what it's going to take for us to make this harvest module at our base here. So we're going to go over and click the hovercraft tab and go to devices. And here's our detector that we unlocked. We know we want to put one of those in it because we're out and about. It'd be nice to find. Where's the harvest module at? Why is it not here? Would it be a component? No. What is going to all? Type in harvest. There's a search bar up here. You can search for things in here. We're not finding anything like that in here. Where is it? I shot myself in the foot. Oh, tools and weapons. Harvest module. Because it's a tool. You need 2 motors. So what are we missing on motors? Probably steel plates. It always comes down to these steel plates, doesn't it? The motors. Steel plates, nanotubes, and electronics. So yeah, we need some steel plates. So let's go ahead and get that real quick. We got tons of that. We'll go over and do this side. Salvage. Salvage, 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 salvage. Salvage. Just gonna get some. We're just putting it right in our inventory. We're not bothering to connect to the chest. How much we got here? We're at 553. That should be enough to feed us for a while. And let's go put this in our constructor intake container. Yeah, 215 of them. So let's make us a harvest module. It's going to look ugly on the front of this, but it is what it is. So it's underneath the hover vessel and in the tools. So we're going to make one of those. We've already got our detector. So let's make us a device. So here's our container extensions. I don't know how many of those we're going to need, but here's our ore and wood. So we're going to make us one of those. And we're going to make, each one of these is going to be 100. So let's make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. So we'll have 800 storage in the back. We also got to consider how much lift this thing has. It does not have any thrusters. It relies entirely on these things, which are the ground repulsors. And so if you really want these things nimble, you got to put an RCS module in these. These are the one things that are mandatory if you really want a lot of control. But we're trying to limit this stuff. So we're going to take this cargo box off the back of this because we're going to eliminate that. So now we got a little bit of extra space in here. So we're also going to pull our fuel tank off and our generator off. Don't worry, we'll put it back later. And so we've opened up this space so that we can utilize it for other things. Oh, I don't know why that does that. We are going to put our... It doesn't matter where the stuff... Oh, man, I got it on salvage. So we have to make that stuff again. It's all right. So we need to make a fuel tank and a generator now because we destroyed ours because we weren't paying attention. So generator, fuel tank. Let's see all these damaged blocks. See, these are using steel blocks and carbon composite up front. So we're going to make us, I don't know, maybe we're going to use our container extensions to take those blocks off and fix them. But we can grab our color tool, which I think we put in the chest over here for safekeeping. Where do we put our color tool? I know we had a color tool. Oh, there she is, right there. Now, this looks like it's all rusty and stuff, but it's just textures. So we're going to get our texture gun, make sure we're clicked off on this one, clicked off on this one, and we're going to go to symbols. And if you look here at the back page, you see these? This is what's applied to this to make it look like rust. But we just want to remove that because it's ugly, and we don't want to do it one at a time. So we want to make sure we hit a bunch at a time. So we're going to click the medium, and then all sides of the spot, the blocks. And we're just going to start blasting this to get rid of it. Are we still in removal? Oh, hit the removal. There we go. Oh, what we did was remove paint and everything from this. See, we're just blasting it to get rid of all that rusty stuff so it doesn't look so ugly. That is a texture. That is a texture that is right. That's this texture here. See? See? We put it on the whole thing. We actually want to remove it. Removal. We're just removing all textures from this thing. So we can repaint it. Those blocks are damaged. So if we want, we're going to have to replace those blocks entirely if we want them to look neat and new. So we're just going to strip this down to nothing. Now we've got the textures on the front, the symbols I mean, so we need to take our symbols and remove those. Remove those. If you want to remove the textures, you got to go back to textures. Make sure you remove. There you go. So this thing is now a blank slate. Look at the bottom. See down there, we got more rust down there. So remember, we got to be at symbols to remove the rust look. Make sure we're at the removal. We have a blank slate. So textures, removal. So now she just looks like a plain Jane, but we'll paint her later. So let's get our equipment that we just made. And we want, put this back up our toolbar for now. We're going to put this fuel up because we don't need it. We'll put it back in here for now. So we're going to get our generator and our fuel tank. And we're going to hide that down at the bottom. So if it ever takes damage, at least this stuff isn't destroyed and we can keep moving. We can launch our drone to do this because it's aggravating climbing around this thing. So we're going to select our first device. Set it right there. Again, it does not matter on the ship where you put these things. You do want to be wary of weight. You don't want to put all your heavy equipment on one side and all your light, because it does matter in this game. So we got that in. So we're going to hit F5 to get out of this. And now we got those container extensions and that ore and wood container. Now you see we're having to jump around this thing to get access to our cargo container before, and it's a pain in the butt. So what we can actually do is find a place where we can put this so it's visible to us so that we don't have to fight with it, but it doesn't look like it's going to be easy. So we're going to put this one in last and put it up. We'll put it up first so you can see, because I'll open it and show you how little it is. So we're going to put it right there. So now we can click F to get in this really easy, and you see it's 125. So when I put this container extension to it, now it's got one container extension attached to it. So when I click F to click on it, now it's 250. So let's add a, remember, we got to also add our Wi-Fi, our detector thing to it. So let's get to our detector. So we're going to take our detector. We're going to put it in the back. Can't do it there. We're going to put it in the back there. As long as it's on the vessel, it doesn't matter. So we are at 250, and we got a space to put two more. So we're going to add two more, one here and one here. See what we got. Now we got 500 storage in it. So you see this shape of this block? We're going to go to our container extensions and go right click on it. We're going to right click on our container extensions, and these are all the shapes that you could use for the container extension. So we are going to use this one here because it mimics the one they're using. And you see the axis, we're going to change it on the axis. We want to put the green axis up and spin it until it matches this one. But you see it doesn't exactly match that one. Let's see if we have that shape in here. We're looking for that shape of that box to match this one. And this is 90% of the toughness. What is that? That is half block. That is that block, but look, it's that exact block, but we just got ours turned the wrong way. So let's rotate it to this axis, spin it like that, and then go back to this axis and spin it. And now we have that exact block. So we can put another container extension here, but pay attention, look, it went up to 598. Now we're going to take this block out and we're going to salvage this block because it's damaged. And we're going to put another one in its place. But remember, 598. And remember, each one of these are 125. But we're not putting a whole one in. We're taking a portion of it off. So 598, put a new one in, and look, it jumped to 695. So we only picked up 95, 96, 97 space. So we lost 28 because we're not putting whole blocks in. So we can go to the other side over here as well and take this off and take this off and put these in here. Spin it around, put it in, and we got space to put one more. Now you notice this container extension is touching this one is touching this one, the one below that's touching this one, and this one is touching that one. So these container extensions have to be touching each other in order to extend the space. So I could, in theory, take this back one off and take this back one off and extend it even more. So let's make us a couple more container extensions and see what other shapes we have. I know we need at least one more, so let's make the one more. We may end it there, see what we got. When it comes to wood, 800 is not really a lot. So we got one more, and we're going to take a really good look at the shapes to see if we could even take those off and replace them with this. But remember, these things have all the weight and the armor of a regular steel block. So do we have the little tiny pieces? Oh, we do. So if we wanted to, we could take those off and put those on if we really wanted to extend it. We're not going to. We're just going to make this the simple version. Now, because we ran out of blocks and we had to get new ones, so now it reset the way we had everything setting. So we have to spin our blocks around again in order to get them in there to look the way we want them to look. So what we've done is we've extended our ore and wood into 891. So we are not limited. We can put whatever we want in here. But in order for it to pick up from this harvest module, we're going to slap on the front of this thing. We have to put the ore and wood. Now we can come in and fix these if we want, but we can't put container extensions here and expect it to extend that because these aren't connected to this in any way. So let's go get our harvest module and let's see how we can best put this on the front of this, and we'll see if the ship even handles with it. Look how big and ugly that is. Now you're not going to be able to slide in between trees with this thing on here anymore, but at least it'll be there. So if we want to put that there and get it up underneath there properly, we may have to take a couple of these pieces off the front. So let's go with retrieve blocks. It'd be easier if this thing wasn't sitting on the ground like that. So let's see if we can lift it up so we can get a better view at it. Is there any fuel in here? Nope, we need to put some fuel in. Yep, 60%. So let's see if we can't lift this nose off the ground a little bit. It's going to keep falling. So let's get it rested on something. So V, Alt, It's hard to do in third person mode, but that's up in the air pretty good, isn't it? Yeah. So if we want to put our our module in here. We're going to have to make space for it because it's big. So let's pull these off too. Retrieve that. Retrieve that. How are we doing there? Let's see, it's just carbon composite blocks we got sitting here. There we go. Let's see what we got here. Let's stick it there. That's not too bad. It's the same width as the rest of it. But I wonder, it should be able to attach and grab things. Let's give it a go and see, find out. Now, mind you, we picked up 5 carbon blocks that came off of this. So if we wanted to take those off and put whole blocks on, we'll do that real quick. Let's salvage those, though. So let's grab our carbon blocks. Carbon is a plastic block. It makes it lighter. On a vessel like this, I think that would be important. So we want this block here, I think, for this. Yes, and for this block right here. Yep. Yep. They got this beat up block here on the bottom. We could take that off because we got one left. And then it's just a race to figure out if we have that, if we can find that block. Is that right? Let's get out a third person view so we see what we're doing. So it looks like it's going to be this block here, and then it's a, can we find it? I don't know. That doesn't look right at all to me. There we go. Set it there. Yeah, that's good enough for my taste. So let's go see if we can actually cut down some trees. So now you see we have a detector. And we have this harvest module. Let's see how she handles. She never handled great to begin with, but it's... Oh, we got some trees. We got 2 wood logs out of that. We got 2 wood logs out of that. Now F4 to access the space. See, we got it. We got 110 out of 891. There we go. Five wood logs. Oh yeah, you see, if you got some of this stuff in your way and you want to get rid of it, you can take that stuff down. Gives you XP. F4, see how much space we got left. 40. There you go. I think we're good. You got the gist. So we've repaired some blocks. All we were using was our insert and delete, our home and end keys to rotate those blocks. So we're going to shut this thing down. F to get off of it. And if you wanted to, what you could do is you could... Now, these blocks here are going to be limited in the colors you can add. So if you wanted to wrap this in a very consistent color all the way around, these are your limiting blocks, because you see this is the only textures you're going to get. But when you click on something like a carbon or steel, you're going to get 2 pages of textures. So these are the ones you're going to want to core find. So we're going to pick this texture, and we're going to go with like a dark gray, and we're going to wrap the back end of it, the sides of it, in this, and you know, maybe even decorate a couple there like that. And then go with some door looks on the bottom. I don't care. And we're at dark gray, so maybe we want to go with a little bit of white for the bottom and make it a little more simpler. That's not simple at all. Just a flat plain texture around the bottom in white. See, this has got a damaged block there. I don't care. I do not care. Put a little light in the back. Put a vent back here. Let's go dark gray. There we go. And then you can go back to a lighter gray for around the front. And let's go with a I don't really care about this bezel. What we got over here? L to turn our light on because we're wearing a suit. Yeah, see, this side is different than that side. I don't like that, but that's the way it was. Oh, that's because we put that on there. So we could take our dark gray and we use that, right? That's the color we used. Yeah, that's good enough. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. Yeah, it's good enough. We used that little door, didn't we? Yeah. Here's a little door over here. Along the bottom, we want to do our plain and then white. Oh, we left some rust on there. Did you see it? I don't care. It's ugly. It's ugly to begin with. That doesn't matter. We got us. Oh, we got a box sticking up top. So we will make these this, and we will do them in a bright yellow so they stand out. The beautiful thing about this is we can walk right up here and click it. Oh, see how we got 4 different sides and we aren't getting this whole box? Watch this. We'll click this, and we'll click this piece here. And one shot, and it paints the whole block yellow. So if we want to change it, go to charcoal, maybe go back to something like a little hatchback door on the back. We made it all that color because we forgot to unclick that. So we go back to our yellow, go back to our plain, click it, make sure we uncheck this, and go to a dark block and the block we want to change, and now, there we go. We had this fence though. There we go. There you go. And see, that's how you do that. Decorate yours how you want. I would just take the blocks off. All I care about is that harvest module on the front. Paint mine all gray. Where are we at? We're at full out nighttime. Let's go to bed. Can we see our hover bike from here? We can't. So connect to our hover bike, grab our wood. So now you have an easy way to go get wood to generate fuel. Put all the rest of the crap that we have in there, and we have us a harvester. All right, next episode, I promise, we're going to space. You guys have fun playing with your hover bike, and I'll see you next time. Hey, before I end this video, I forgot, because we put a pretty significant tool on this and container extensions on the back of this, we do want to check this thing's CPU to make sure we didn't overdo our CPU, to make sure if we did, we would have to extend it. So we're going to hit P, and we're going to go to our CPU statistics, and we're going to look. And we're using half of what we wanted to, what we have possible to use. We have allocated 2,216 of the 5,000 you're allowed at tier 1. So if we went over 5,000 with this, we would need to upgrade this to tier 2 to keep our computer at 100% efficiency. And we added things to here, and we didn't put them into groups. I like keep things into groups. We've talked about it earlier why a lot is having to do with renamed things, right? So, but in the CPU statistics, if we needed to upgrade it, we would. But let's find out if there's an RCS in here. It does not look like there is an RCS in here. So if you're having handling issues with this vehicle, like you can't go up and down, or an RCS would be a nice addition to it. But I know when you look at your CPU statistics and you see what's using the most, it's going to be your engines and things like that for sure. The harvest module is the second, and the third one is our container extensions. But that's because we've got 7 of them in there. You know, so if you was to put 20 of them in, 19 container extensions with the actual ore and wood container itself, that this would be a pretty significant part of this. But we still kept everything small and we're okay. But if we found we had handling issues, we would add an RCS to it, because an RCS basically augments your computers. And most of the time, hover vessels do better with them anyway. It just makes them more responsive. So, sorry I forgot to mention that. I just figured I'd jump in here real quick and note that for you. Let's go kill this guy. I hate these guys. I love their XP. Get his meat. All right. I'll see you guys next episode when we do go to space. Like and subscribe.